Luxembourg, the small giant of Europe. At first glance, Luxembourg looks like a dot on the map of Western Europe, squeezed between France, Germany, and Belgium. Many travelers speed past it on their way to Paris, Brussels, or Frankfurt, but those who stop quickly discover something remarkable. This tiny country is one of Europe's most surprising success stories. Luxembourg is living proof that size does not define power, culture, or influence. In fact, this nation of barely 650,000 people has managed to carve out a unique role as both a historic fortress and a futuristic hub of innovation. Geography, small but diverse. Luxembourg is just over 2,500 square kilometers, making it smaller than Rhode Island or Cornwall, yet it packs in a striking variety of landscapes. The north, known as the Osling, belongs to the Ardennes Highlands, a region of rolling hills, dense forests, and valleys where picturesque villages seem frozen in time. This is where you'll find hiking trails through the Our and Upper Shore natural parks, with forests covering nearly a third of the country. The highest point, Neef, rises only 560 meters above sea level, but the views are enchanting. In the south lies the Gutland, or Good Land, a fertile plain where most Luxembourgers live and work. This region has been the engine of agriculture and industry for centuries, and it's also home to the Red Lands, named after the iron-rich soil that once fueled Luxembourg's steel boom. The Moselle River runs through the east, forming a natural border with Germany. Its valleys are lined with vineyards producing crisp Riesling, Pinot Gris, and sparkling Cremant de Luxembourg, wines that often surprise connoisseurs with their quality. Not bad for a country whose entire wine region is smaller than Bordeaux's airport. A fortress through the ages. Luxembourg's story began in 963 AD, when Count Siegfried acquired a rocky promontory overlooking the Alzette River and built a small fort known as LUXEMBOURG, Little Castle. Over time, this fort grew into one of Europe's most strategic strongholds. Perched on cliffs with natural defenses, Luxembourg City became known as the Gibraltar of the North. Control of the fortress meant influence over trade routes and armies, so Luxembourg was fought over for centuries by the Spanish, Austrians, French, Prussians, and more. By the 19th century, Luxembourg had been shrunk through partitions with Belgium, France, and Prussia, leaving the small state we know today. But even stripped of territory, the country proved resilient, maintaining independence as a Grand Duchy, the last one in the world. The title, Grand Duke, remains a quirky distinction that no other nation carries. A modern powerhouse. Fast forward to the 20th century, and Luxembourg found a new way to thrive. After vast iron ore deposits were discovered, the country became an industrial hub, with steel production transforming its economy. The world's largest steel company today, ArcelorMittal, is headquartered in Luxembourg City. Yet as the steel industry declined in the 1970s, Luxembourg pivoted brilliantly. It reinvented itself as a financial center, passing laws that attracted banks, corporations, and investment funds with low taxes and business-friendly regulations. By the late 20th century, this tiny state had become one of the world's richest nations. Luxembourg's GDP per capita is now among the very highest globally, and more than 150 banks operate there. International giants like Amazon, PayPal, and Skype have set up their European headquarters in the capital. But Luxembourg doesn't stop at finance. It has invested heavily in technology, satellite communications, and even space mining. In 2017, Luxembourg passed laws granting companies rights over resources extracted from asteroids, the first European country to do so. From medieval fortresses to interplanetary ambitions, Luxembourg has mastered the art of adapting. A cultural mosaic. Luxembourgers, or Letzeburger, are proud of their culture, which blends Germanic and Romance influences yet remains distinct. The national language, Luxembourgish, is closely related to German but peppered with French expressions. Every citizen grows up multilingual. Luxembourgish is spoken at home, German is learned in primary school, French is introduced shortly after, and English by adolescence. Add Portuguese, spoken by nearly 20% of the population, and you get one of the most linguistically versatile countries in the world. This cultural mosaic is visible everywhere. Street names mix German and French, official documents are trilingual, and switching languages mid-sentence is perfectly normal. Portuguese festivals brighten neighborhoods, while French cuisine and German beer halls coexist side by side. Luxembourg is a living experiment in coexistence, where identity is flexible but national pride runs deep. Traditions and lifestyle. Luxembourg may be ultramodern, but traditions remain important. The most famous is the Echternach dancing procession, held every Whit Tuesday. Thousands of participants hop rhythmically through the town streets in honor of Saint Willibrord, a monk who founded Echternach Abbey in the 7th century. It is the last Roman Catholic dancing procession still performed in Europe and has even been recognized by UNESCO as intangible cultural heritage. Food is another point of pride. Traditional dishes include jud mat gardebouwen, smoked pork neck with broad beans, gromperekkeltje, crispy potato fritters sold at fairs, and bouwnesloep, green bean soup. French pastries are a staple, but Luxembourg also has its own quirky creation, the boxmanchen, a brioche shaped like a little man, eaten around St. Nicholas Day. And yes, Luxembourgers eat plenty of burgers too, though they insist on calling themselves Luxembourgers with a grin. Life in one of the world's wealthiest nations. Luxembourg is consistently ranked as one of the safest and richest countries on earth. Unemployment is low, healthcare and education are excellent, and the quality of life is enviable. Public transport is even free nationwide, the first country in the world to implement this on a national scale. Whether you take a train through the forests, a tram across Luxembourg City, or a bus to the vineyards, you can travel without a ticket. Luxembourgers also hold the world record for car ownership, with more than 650 vehicles per 1,000 residents. This may be partly due to high salaries and cheap fuel compared to neighboring countries, which draws in commuters from across the border. Every day, over 200,000 people from France, Belgium, and Germany cross into Luxembourg to work, nearly half the workforce. A land of castles and surprises. Despite its wealth, Luxembourg hasn't forgotten its roots. The countryside is dotted with over 100 castles, 75 dating back to the Middle Ages. The most famous, Vianden Castle, looms majestically above the Our Valley and once hosted Victor Hugo, who was exiled there. Other gems include Beaufort Castle, with both medieval ruins and a Renaissance palace, and Bourscheid Castle, perched high on a hill with panoramic views. In the capital, the Old Quarter and Fortress are UNESCO World Heritage Sites, while the underground casemates, 17 kilometers of tunnel carved into rock, are a reminder of the city's strategic past. Visitors often marvel that in such a small space, there is so much to explore. Luxembourg and the world. Luxembourg may be small, but it plays big on the international stage. It was a founding member of NATO, the United Nations, and the European Union's predecessor, the European Coal and Steel Community. Its diplomatic clout often surprises outsiders, but Luxembourgers see it as essential for survival. Strategic friendships are part of their DNA. Belgium is considered Luxembourg's closest ally, with strong cultural and political ties. France and Germany are vital partners, not only in trade but also in cross-border labor. Portugal, thanks to its large diaspora community, is deeply connected too. Portuguese radio stations and cultural centers thrive in the country. Luxembourg has truly become a miniature model of European integration. Conclusion. Luxembourg is more than just a tiny tax haven or a banking capital. It's a nation that has endured centuries of conflict, reinvented its economy, and created a thriving, multicultural society. From vineyards and medieval castles to financial skyscrapers and asteroid mining dreams, Luxembourg embodies the spirit of adaptability. It is a place where history whispers from fortress walls, where four languages may swirl in a single conversation, and where prosperity meets tradition in a way that feels distinctly European yet entirely its own. Luxembourg is the definition of small but mighty, an enduring reminder that even the tiniest countries can cast the longest shadows.